A big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. If you need a website or a domain, go to squarespace.com/James for 10% off your first purchase. Keep getting cramp in my leg last couple of days. No idea why. I feel like I'm a teenager again, waking up in the middle of the night with cramp. Did you get that? I used to get it a lot. I don't think it's growing pains this time, which is what I attributed it to in my teenage years. I'm 35 now. Don't think I'm growing. Probably the extra weight. The Christmas cheese. Anyway, welcome to Clanroost. I live about 20 minutes from here, and I've been meaning to photograph this stand, this very charismatic stand, for years. And I just never got around to it, which is ridiculous. I thought this morning was going to be perfect. Basically, there was some cloud mist over these hills as I was driving in. It's gone now. And the light was poking through at quite a nice angle too, but that is now mostly behind cloud. So cracking start to the year's photography. Usually how it goes though, so maybe we'll be on the up from here. I think maybe an early summer's morning, early summer, when the sun will be over there, beautiful side light, hopefully nice and dewy, there'll be some mist around. I think that could work really well. Bit of cloud or mist on the hill now. Could have done with that 10 minutes ago over there. That's a shame. If the light had hit then, mwah, that would have been perfect. 4th of April 2025. Now you can see there's a bridge here that you can walk across the river on, which I've not done for years, but I was hoping to get a better view of the church looking back that way. But it's very obviously closed. It's been deemed not safe by the council. So I don't know when it'll be open again. This is very much turning into a scout, but that's okay. Early January. I feel like that makes sense. Let's go up by the golf course, I think. Scouting. You're allowed to sit down when you're scouting, is my rule. It's very relaxing here too. There's a river behind me, abandoned golf course in front of me. Not abandoned, but empty. I think it's closed for winter. Very peaceful. I do think the more time I spend taking photos close to where I live, the more I realise I just don't know it at all. I mean, I knew that this footpath around the golf course existed, but it never struck me as a good idea to come and investigate whether there were photos to be had here. And today I don't think there are really, but in different conditions I think there absolutely are for my kind of photos. So I shall be back and I'll come and sit on this bench, maybe early one summer morning, and just heckle people teeing off from these two tees in front of me. I won't, I've not got the minerals to do that. Nice place to come though, I shall be back. Also, I should probably say, if this is the first video of mine you're watching, you might think my photography is a bit odd. I mean, I suppose you might think that if this is the 100th video of mine you're watching as well. But yeah, anyway, I've been thinking a lot recently about the fact I am useless at describing to other people what it is that I like to photograph, whether it be other photographers that I meet who don't know my work, don't know me from, what's the phrase? Don't know me from, there's a name that people, doesn't matter. Basically, if people don't know me, I struggle to talk about what it is that I photograph. I don't think I fit neatly into one of the big categories, be it landscape photography, street photography, seascape photography, whatever it is. I don't think I fit because, well, those terms to me at least explain, well, a process just as much as a subject type these days. And yeah, I don't think my way of working or what it is that I like to photograph really fits into any of those. And it's only recently I've started to think of me squirming away trying to explain what I do as a positive. Often I end up saying something like, what I like to do is explore the relationship between man-made things and nature, and you just sound like a wally. But I have started to see it as a positive, because the more I think about it, the more I think other things in my life that I love don't really fit neatly into categories. Be it my favourite music, sports people, movies, whatever it is, they don't fit neatly, and because of that, they're interesting. And that's not to say that my photos are interesting. They're certainly not today, and they're not to most people. But I think there is a plus side to me making myself look stupid when I try and explain what it is that I do, is what I tell myself. So if you don't think you fit neatly into a category, maybe you can see it as a positive as well. Yeah. Anyway, must crack on. As nice as it is to be sat on this bench, there's another village I want to go and explore, which I've not been to before. And with it being early January, it will get dark before long. I don't really want to get up. Right, well, Ysbyty Afan. No idea why I've not been here before, but looks like quite an interesting place. I shall therefore endeavour to walk round and tell you what I'm interested in photographing. Nobody here, but lots more snow. I love this red post box, but I wish it was in the middle of the wall. Well, between the end of the wall and the window. That would look a bit cleaner. I mean, it's not terrible where it is, but I think it would just look so much cleaner if it was symmetrical in the building. But it's not. Yes. Come on, a bit closer. This way. I don't have food, but you don't know that. This way. Just come over here. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, it's not a risk actually, it's a certainty. Some light would be nice. Yeah. Just for some colour more than shape and texture and shadow in the landscape. Otherwise you are pretty much solely reliant on splashes of colour like letterboxes, road signs. You know, I've not really seen much else in terms of colour. Maybe not the end of the world, but I like a bit of colour. Are you going to come this way?
So you're just out having a nose round for some picnics then, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah. Picked a good day, although it was supposed to be sunny all day.
Yes.
Not seen the sun once.
No.
Typical.
Well, it's the next afternoon, and I've come to somewhere entirely different for what I was hoping was going to be a sunset shot. All become clear, but I'm hiding at the moment because it's hailing, which doesn't bode that well for a sunset shot, I suppose, does it? I think it has stopped, though.
Come on, light. You may recall that I was here a couple of months ago, back in October, I think, when I came to this beach for an afternoon to try and take photos of that chapel, which is basically on an island out to sea. It's quite cool. And on that afternoon, briefly came up on this track to see if there was a shot from here, and I hastily decided that there wasn't. And it was only when I got home and checked the photos that I realised there was an opportunity here, and I decided I should come back when the conditions suited, by which I meant I wanted visibility of the Llŷn Peninsula, which today we have. I wanted a higher tide, although admittedly not this high. I didn't think the tide would appear this high at mid-tide, but there we go. And I wanted more cloud cover in case it could all be lit up by a glorious sunset. And yeah, we have the ingredients, apart from the slightly high tide and the fact that in January, the sun at the moment at least, isn't quite far enough around to light up the side of the church. So hopefully in the next hour and 15 before sunset that changes. But yeah, so far so good. I'm feeling hopeful. A couple of minutes ago there was a bit of rain when the sun was out, and I got quite a nice effect with the rain, slowing down my shutter speed to something like 100th of a second. Maybe it'll rain again, I don't know. I don't think the tide's going to go back out, which is a shame. High tide is in about 2 hours, so I have messed that up. But apart from that, I think things are looking promising. We have our first walker. Man and dog are both in red coats. So this could be nice if the light plays ball. Behind a massive cloud at the moment. Well, I've got him taking a photo, but I'd have preferred the dog in the red coat in it as well. Dog had already gone around the corner. Here they come, here they come, here they come. The light's good. I don't believe it. The light's fading. Sun's been out for 10 minutes. As soon as they come around the corner, goes in. I might have won. It's not bad. Could have been so much better if the sun was as punchy as it had been. Oh, that's frustrating. You'd be forgiven right now for thinking that I'd be ecstatic, given that I've been calling for light for the last 2 or 3 days, however long I've been making this video for. And I am, to an extent, but there's cloud cover in the direction that the sun is setting. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. Over there. So time very much feels like it's of the essence. I did want to go back down the road that I came along to get to this village, because that road in this light looks phenomenal. More so than the compositions that I was taking the other day, I think, here, even with light. So I think I might just head back along that road and walk along the road rather than spend too much time in the village. Which pains me because I was desperate for these conditions, but I do just think that road looks incredible. The post box with light directed onto it though, mwah! I couldn't have guessed that that would happen, so that was a nice bit of luck. But yeah, back down the main road I think. Alright, I've basically thrown the car into a bush, and I hope it's worth it. Essentially, I don't know if you can see with this camera, but that house on the hill up there with the tree is what I want to photograph, framed by this road as it goes around this corner. And as is often the case when you're driving around places and you spot a potential opportunity, it looks amazing in the car, and then when you go and investigate closer it doesn't quite work. Hopefully that's not the case this time. We're about to find out. No, I think it's great. I think it's absolutely amazing. That looks so good. Tried to hide you in a bush in case tractors and such get close to the edge of the road. I don't know that you're far enough into the bush. That was close. Maybe that's a bit better. I mean, it's less likely to be run over, yes, but now the camera is focused on a branch, which I didn't notice at the time, but it doesn't matter. I basically spent 20 minutes on that road finding various compositions, and the one that I like most, I think, is this one. I think it's the right balance between subject and supporting subject, which is a concept I've spoken about quite a lot on this channel. And as I was saying earlier in the video, and as is always the case with my photography and lots of people's photography, that scene would not excite lots and lots of people. But it's precisely that interest in things that other people might not find interesting that I think can make people interesting. So if you often find yourself wanting to photograph things that other people don't, lean into it, is my experience. Because there will be people out there who do find it interesting. And to that end, that print, and in fact, this picture also, which I shot late last year at the quarry, you might remember that video. These two photos are both available now as prints on my website and will be for the next 4 weeks, and then they'll never be available again at these sizes. So yes, if you're interested in either of these pictures, they're available as prints. And as well as a thank you for watching, a big thanks goes to the service that makes me selling prints possible, Squarespace. So I use Squarespace to handle my online store, so the selling of my prints, which I haven't done for a while because I've been focusing on the book, but we've got orders under control now, so I can sell prints again. But my prints, my book, my presets, Squarespace handles all that. My Squarespace website is basically the only place online that you can see my portfolio. It's where I intend this year to do some regular blogging, and I'm hoping that, as I was talking about last year, by making a few less videos this year, I'll have time for things like blogging. And it's where I talk about things like workshops, it's where I send my newsletters from. Squarespace is integral to my business, and to be honest, I think it's an absolute must for all photographers wanting a place to showcase their work online, regardless of whether you want to send out newsletters or have an online store. Just as somewhere to show your work, I think it works fantastically. There are loads of templates, you don't need to know any code. It's all drag and drop, very simple to use. It's fantastic. And you can try out Squarespace with a free trial by going to squarespace.com. And after that, if you'd like to make a purchase, just go to squarespace.com/James and you'll get 10% off your first purchase. So a giant thank you to Squarespace for their continued support of this channel, and a massive thank you to you for watching as well. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time when hopefully it's not as cold and there's some more light. We'll see.